morning, welcome back to Mornings with Makaykay. I'm Makaykay. If you're new, Mornings with Makaykay episodes are a Monday morning series here on my channel where I join you from my bed with no makeup on, PJs from last night, and a cup of coffee or tea. This morning I'm actually drinking apple cider vinegar and lemon because I already had my coffee and tea while eating breakfast and planning out this video. As you can tell by the title, this morning we are going to be talking about relationships. Yet again, it seems to be a big theme in my life lately. I'm going through a lot of new territory, new experiences for me at least, and I know that my last episode I talked about how to get over a difficult breakup, but in today's episode we're going to talk about how to navigate a new relationship after heartbreak because as you might know, that is exactly what I've been doing these last few months. I've kept it kind of private in the beginning. Literally, as soon as I made a public statement that I didn't want to date for a year, my current relationship just fell into place. Literally, it had to have been the universe and fate, and I'm going to talk all about that and how my current relationship kind of just happened without me expecting it. It completely took me by surprise. Before we get into my new relationship, don't forget to leave a like on this video because it does help, and comment down below as well as subscribe. We really are like one big family with lots of love to go around. It's never too late to join. All you have to do is hit subscribe. Also, don't forget to click the bell because this notifies you every time I upload a new video, and I always shout out the first comments on my social media, so be sure to be following me on that as well. I think it's time to kind of tell you guys a little bit about what is going on with my personal love life, and then my advice to you on if you are going through the same thing and what not to do, because there are a few things that I think are super important to remember during this time in your life, and I feel like I learned it all as I went. Like most things in your life, you learn it as you go. So this is what I learned from the experience, and now it's time to try to tell you. Ow! Cats. But now time for the tea. I feel like it's only fitting to film this video in my boyfriend's t-shirt because I'm obsessed with it and he gave it to me to keep because he's the best. Fun fact, because I know a lot of my viewers are from Minnesota in this area, although neither my boyfriend nor I went to this school, this is the school where my parents met and were high school sweethearts and are still together to this day. So it's another reason why I like this shirt, because I have a connection to it even though I didn't go here. Hello, are you gonna join me? You guys want to see a cat play fetch? Oh, you're so cute. Are you ready? As always with my videos, I have some notes in my YouTube journal, so this is just going to guide me as I take you guys through how to navigate a new relationship after a hard breakup. Starting a new relationship after ending a serious relationship or dealing with a breakup, it is a process. It'll take time. You need to heal. It's okay to take things slow. Be open. Those were the biggest things that helped me, but I know that that is super vague, so why don't I just start from the beginning with the breakup video that I uploaded. A little timeline. My last relationship ended in October, and then in December I posted a video on YouTube announcing that we broke up. So I went through 2 silent private months of healing and trying to recover from that breakup before announcing it online. And something else that I mentioned in that breakup video that you all know by now is that I said I didn't want to be in a relationship for at least a year. I really wanted time to myself, and that I wasn't going to download Tinder or seek a relationship out. I was just going to focus on me, do my thing. If someone came along and it happened, but it wouldn't have been initiated by me. I didn't realize when I said that how quickly it would happen. Almost coinciding with uploading that breakup video did my current boyfriend just show up at my door. I guess the universe had other plans, because just a few days after posting that video I started talking to my current boyfriend. It happened naturally, it happened slowly, it happened organically, and I think that is super important, especially because all of my previous relationships, they all stemmed from Tinder for the most part. After this breakup, it was really important for me to meet someone naturally. I kept telling myself and manifesting and that I wanted to meet someone organically, you know, in person, have a story to it. My boyfriend and I definitely met in an organic way, which is super helpful. Without giving away too many details about my boyfriend and I, we didn't just meet. I've known him for almost a year, but we didn't start talking or project interest in one another until the end of December into January. I think that also really helped me because at that time I had just felt good about being single. If you remember, I just posted that how to get over a breakup episode, and you could probably see it in my content that I had healed and I felt really good on my own. I was happy to be alone without feeling lonely. I felt good in my own skin. I felt sexy. All these things that I didn't feel either in a relationship or right after that relationship when I was still really sad. I think I said this in the other video, but you have to completely reimagine your future after a breakup. For me, I was at a loss of my identity because I didn't know who I was at 23 and single. Since I only only knew who I was at 23 in a relationship. So I had to do a lot of soul searching and discover myself at 23 and figure out what was best for me. As soon as I realized what was best for me was to focus on my passion as a YouTuber and create content and focus on my career as well as my job. You know, if I really wanted to just do my thing, find happiness in those accomplishments, my electricity went out. I literally burned a fuse. That is how my boyfriend just showed up at my door to help me fix my fuse. I believe that everything that happened stemmed from that night, and it was out of my control because it was God or the universe or the stars being like, ooh, power's out. Okay, this is when your life is about to change and you don't even know it yet. In the beginning, when my boyfriend asked if I wanted to hang out and we decided to go on that first date, I left him on red for like 12 hours because I just wasn't sure. Like, I had already agreed, like, yeah, let's hang out sometime, but as soon as he made specific plans for this restaurant on this night at this time, I was hesitant because I didn't know what I wanted yet, and I knew that I wasn't ready to dive into another relationship. I knew that I had just found myself, I just felt happy, and I was afraid that if I started to give myself to another person, I would lose that happiness, I would lose that independence, I would lose how I felt alone, and I didn't want to become reliable or feel like I needed somebody else in my life when I finally knew that I was okay. And that fresh feeling of heartbreak and feeling hurt, it was still there on the surface. I was afraid that I was just putting myself onto this path of getting hurt again. I didn't want to feel that again, so why would I say yes to a date, especially after I told myself I wouldn't be in a relationship in 2019. 2019 hadn't even started yet, and I had someone asking me to go out, someone that I was attracted to and liked so far. So I said yes. I believe it was our second time hanging out after that first night where I kind of told him what was going on. He knew I had just gotten out of a relationship and he knew a little bit about it, but it wasn't until like our second date or the second time that we hung out where I kind of explained like, hey, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship. I don't want to lead you on, but I really like you and I want to see where this goes, but I'm gonna need time. That was hard. I didn't want him to feel confused. I also didn't want his intentions to be shifted. I also didn't want him to think that my intentions were shifting because I respected him and I really liked him. I didn't want him to feel like I was using him, but I also knew that if it wasn't what he was looking for, then I shouldn't be wasting his time and he shouldn't be wasting mine. So it's important to have that open communication, and that is like the #1 thing in a healthy relationship. From my experience in an unhealthy relationship, communication is key. Be open, speak your mind, tell the truth, and you know what? He was okay with that, and I'm glad that I told him because it was important for me to make sure that I had healed completely before getting into a new relationship, and I told him that too. I didn't want to jump into a new relationship and not be ready because it wasn't fair to him and it wasn't fair to me. I need to make sure that I have healed, and I felt fairly confident that I was no longer heartbroken. I felt like I had healed, and I told him like I had just discovered that I'm happy again and I'm afraid, and it's really scary when you like someone like that. I told him so many times that I was terrified by these feelings I was catching for him, and I hadn't felt that afraid to feel something in a long time. In fact, I hadn't felt the way that I felt about him like that early on, maybe ever, and that was scary too because I was like, what is going on? Why do I feel like this? I didn't let myself be led by fear. I actually wrote in my office on my YouTube whiteboard, be fearless, mostly with the content I create. I'm kind of living by that lately too. Don't be led by fear, be fearless, Makayla.
And I don't know how it gets better than this. You take my hand and drag me head first, fearless.
And that's exactly what I did. So we continued to hang out. We took things slow. There were no labels. The funny thing about that is even if you say you take things slow and don't put a label on it, there is no control over how you feel about someone. And I quickly learned that too. So the first time he showed up at my door to help me with my fuse was the 22nd of December. And it was the 22nd of December after he left that he asked if I wanted to hang out sometime. And then on the 29th of December, we went for our first date and got a couple of drinks. So it was the end of December when we started hanging out. It wasn't until like 4 weeks into January. So that was almost a month of seeing each other, catching feelings, getting to know one another, providing time for myself to figure out what was best, to figure out if I had healed, to really find out what I wanted, because throughout those weeks, as much as I liked him and as much as I wanted to pursue something, I didn't know what I wanted, and I felt like I was a broken record saying that, like, I don't know what I want. He knew what he wanted. I was the one that was like, I don't know what I want. I know that I don't want to jump into a new relationship because I don't want this to feel like a rebound, which it wasn't. And I talked about that in my other video about how my rebound was different than this relationship. And I think having those different experiences was super important to me. So I didn't want to jump into the relationship because I was afraid that if we started our relationship too soon and I wasn't ready, that it wouldn't last, or that I would realize later on that I wasn't ready and end up hurting him or hurting me. And then another big fear of mine was just losing my sense of independence, losing my happiness that I had just found and created on my own. And my last fear was knowing that I wasn't ready to give in a relationship. And what I mean by that is I wasn't ready to give time, attention, even money in some way to a new relationship. You give a lot. When you are in a relationship, you give your time, you give your attention, you give your affection, and you do end up spending a lot of money by going out to eat, buying each other gifts. I remember as soon as I went through that first breakup, I was like, damn, like I'm saving a lot of money being single. So I had all of those fears. I had just gone on a first date with someone that I knew I really liked and wanted to see again. So we took things slow. We got dinner, we got breakfast, and throughout all of these moments and times that I spent with him, not only did my feelings grow stronger, but I realized that I really liked spending time with him. And I noticed that when I wasn't spending time with him, I missed him, and that I wanted to spend time with him, and I wanted to see him. So that one fear I had of losing my independence and not having enough time for myself was no longer a fear. Here I was alone in my bed editing or watching Netflix, and all I wanted to do was be with him. So that was a big moment for me because it washed away one of my fears with a sense of relief. But what I'm trying to say is that those 3 to 4 weeks that we spent in the in-between after I had told him that I wasn't ready for a relationship but I did want to continue seeing him, I really focused on, well, A, not overthinking and just being myself and seeing what would happen, and then B, trying to figure out through that process what I truly wanted because I didn't quite know, and C, trying to decide if I was ready for a relationship because on the outside I felt ready, I felt like I had healed, but it was still so soon for me where I just didn't know if it was a good idea. Throughout those 3 weeks, I healed some more. I focused on myself, what I really wanted. I journaled a lot. I put my entire heart into YouTube and my job. One night before bed, right before that super blood moon that we had in January, which, oh my god, amazing. It hit me. I was getting ready for bed, about to fall asleep, and I knew what I wanted. I had never been so sure, and the time felt right. So the next night, on the full blood moon, which by the way, if you're into astrology and horoscopes and all that, the blood moon, it was a Cancer moon. Cancers are really emotionally open and sensitive in a good way. I think sensitivity can be seen as a negative personality trait, but it's powerful to be sensitive in my opinion. Basically, all my horoscope apps and stuff that I read, they were all saying that this full moon, it's a really crucial time to be emotionally open and communicative, like literally written in the stars. So I took that to heart, and to me that meant, well, tell them that you're ready because you spent these last 3 weeks taking it slow, figuring out what you wanted, knowing that you weren't tied down in a relationship, but then also realizing that's what you wanted and that you were ready. So the night of the full moon, I updated him and told him, just want to let you know that I'm ready. I gave it a lot of thought and I know what I want now, and it's you. So we had a really good conversation about it, and the next morning he asked me to be his girlfriend. So that happened and I couldn't be happier, but I wanted to make this video to kind of explain how I went about this new relationship. I don't think anyone is thinking this or let alone cares, but it was really important for me not to bounce from relationship to relationship to feelings to feelings. I really needed over 3 months of time on my own to heal, to discover who I am, to feel happy again, to really decide when or if I was ready to date someone and give myself to someone in our new relationship. I realized not only was I ready, but I really wanted to, and I think that's a really big sign and a good step. But the number one thing out of this entire video and why I wanted to make this on how to navigate a new relationship is that the most important thing throughout this entire time or experience or healing process is that you need to heal yourself first. That was my number one concern, number one priority, even before my boyfriend came into my life as directly as he did. Like I said, we've known each other for almost a year now, but as soon as it became more than what it was in the past, my number one concern was to take care of myself and to make sure that I wouldn't put her into danger or have myself get hurt again, especially because those feelings of heartbreak and hurt and just at a loss of who you are, they were still so present. I might have no longer been feeling them actively, but they were still there on the surface, and it was super scary. And as soon as I knew that I started to like him and that I really liked him, it was terrifying because I didn't want that shift or that rejection or things not to work out and then feel as awful as I recently have and go through that again, because it was really hard. I try to be strong and I tell you about how I've overcome all all this stuff, like, it doesn't take away the pain or the hurt. And there's a big reason why I waited 2 months before being able to tell you that my ex and I even broke up. And the whole ironic thing about all of this is that as soon as I was like, yeah, I'm happy, I feel good, I'm single, no boys, not yet, not for a year, I'm gonna do my thing, feel myself, I feel good in my skin, let's just create content and be myself, baby. He literally came knocking on my front door, and there he was, and now he's in my life. As funny as it is that he just kind of showed up and we started dating, I take that as such a good sign from the universe. It's exactly what I wanted. I wanted to meet someone organically and have a relationship start that wasn't one that I pursued, and in turn, by pursuing it myself, kind of like digging my own grave. With my past experiences and meeting guys on Tinder, whenever I got hurt or felt like I had been wronged, it was like, well, Makayla, you dug that grave yourself because you messaged him or you swiped right. And I was just done with dating apps. It felt really good to have this organic, beautiful thing just happen and to be open to it. They always say that too, that it literally, like, it happens when you least expect it, and that's what I wanted to experience and kind of go through, and that's exactly what's happening. The last thing that I have written on here, I starred twice, you know it was important, and that is just the fact, don't jump into a new relationship to be in a new relationship. And I think I've been saying that in a million different ways this video, you know, make sure that you are ready. It's like you have to know how to love yourself, how to be alone in order to be yourself and to be independent. And I definitely made sure that it wasn't what I did. I didn't just jump into this new relationship to be in a relationship, because as I said a million times already, I knew I wasn't ready for a relationship and I didn't want to dive into a new relationship. Like, I waited until it felt natural, until I knew it was everything that I wanted and that it was the one part of us that we didn't have yet where I was like, I want to be yours. I'm getting too mushy. Oh my god, stop me. Oh, it's Valentine's Day today. What? How could I forget? I know this won't be up on Valentine's Day, but oh my god, I'm filming this about my relationship on Valentine's Day. That was also the most unexpected part about all of this too, is after the breakup, I just assumed that I wouldn't have a Valentine. Thank you, universe. That's awesome, but I hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day as well. I think I have said everything that I wanted to say about this. Hopefully this helped you understand how to navigate a new relationship after heartbreak, and to give you guys a little tea, a little dirt, a little inside scoop on my new relationship. I don't know if I have made this statement yet, but maybe it's been implied that I do kind of want to keep us a bit more private than I have in the past, simply because it is so meaningful to me that at this point I just want to keep it all to myself. I'm just trying to learn from my mistakes in past relationships, and I think keeping it private isn't really a bad thing, but you know, naturally, organically, you will start to hear more and more about him. If you've been watching my videos, literally since the breakup video, I've been leaving little Easter eggs in all those videos, so if you are really watching and really listening, you might catch up on them. And I know that a few people have made comments about little things that I have said, so I have been leaving Easter eggs, and I think I will just continue to kind of drop these little clues or hints. I mean, there was a recent video where I just came out and said I had a boyfriend, and that was the first time that I publicly said that in a video. I will start to tell you more, and maybe eventually we'll tell you everything, but for now, it is something that I just kind of want to keep a bit more private. Over time, I think with every new video, you will learn a little bit more. Like, at this point, I've told you a ton of information in this video. Even though we've been seeing each other for like 2 months at this point, it is still really new. We haven't even been official for a month yet. Things are just taking their course. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Comment down below if you have anything to add. I would love to know if anyone else went through a new relationship situation the way that I did, and how you navigated that to make sure that you were ready. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye!